Hello everyone, this is Sandy. Today I'm going to talk about how the human body produces voice and speech. Every day many of us rely on voice and speech to communicate. Let's explore the processes of breathing, voicing, and speaking. Firstly, we will try to understand what is voice. Your voice is as unique as your fingerprint. Voice or vocalization is the sound produced by humans and other animals using the lungs and vocal cords in the larynx. The larynx, sometimes called the voice box, and it is the primary organ the voice production. Now, let's try to understand what speech is. Guys, I wanted to mention here that voice and speech are not the same. A very young child crying, or an adult laughing are examples of vocalization or voice production. Now let's talk about what is speech. People typically express thoughts, feelings, and ideas orally to one another through a series of complex movements that alter the basic tone created by voice into specific, identifiable, sounds called speech. Before we get into more detail about how voice and speech are produced, let's explore how we breathe. The first step is taking air into the lungs. The large dome-shaped muscle called the diaphragm, which is located directly below the lungs, contracts and expands vertically, lifting the rib cage and allowing the lungs to fill with air. After the lungs bring oxygen into the body, they remove carbon dioxide by breathing out. When breathing out, the diaphragm and ribcage return to their resting positions, forcing the air out of the lungs. How do we produce voice? There's several parts of the body play a role in the voice production. Vocal folds or two bands of tissue that are positioned opposite each other in the larynx. The larynx is located between the base of the tongue and the top of the passageway to the lungs, known as the trachea. When you are not speaking, the vocal folds are open so that you can breathe. Voice is generated by airflow from the lungs. The vocal folds are first forced apart at the bottom, followed by the top, and the air is forced through the very narrow opening. The opening between the vocal folds is called the glottis, which opens during breathing and narrows during the voice production. The pressure forces the air through the vocal folds, which creates a suction as we exhale. The suction pulls the vocal folds together at the bottom, followed by the top. When the air from the lungs blows past the vocal folds and a high speed, the vocal folds vibrate. In order to produce typical loud speech, the vocal folds and larynx must vibrate normally. How do we produce speech? Speech is produced by precisely coordinated muscle actions in the head, throat, chest, mouth,